So what exactly happened to Thrawn and Ezra after Star Wars Rebels Season 4? We know that Dave Filoni has confirmed that they lived through the jump to hyperspace. But are we ever going to get this story? I believe that unfortunately we'll never see this story unfold in animation. But I do believe there is an excellent chance that we will read this in a story written by Timothy Zahn. But what could be the actual story told in that novel? What about Ezra and Thrawn shipwrecked on an uninhabited planet? This reminds me a lot of how Thrawn, the novel, introduced us to Thrawn in the first place. He was basically a castaway living on a planet by himself, and it's not unlikely that Thrawn and Ezra could find themselves in a similar situation. After the Purrgil leave them drifting in space, the Star Destroyer would most likely crash in a nearby planet. Of course, the cosmic force is strong with Ezra, so I'm sure that planet would have a breathable atmosphere, but would most likely be uninhabited. Unfortunately, the crash landing would take out those on board with the exception of Ezra and Thrawn. Thanks to Ezra's force powers, they'd both be saved. But how would they survive on this uninhabited planet? Well, Thrawn and Ezra would be able to salvage food and supplies from what remained of the Star Destroyer. Plus, Ezra would no doubt be able to sense friendly or unfriendly wildlife, which would be one of their biggest threats on the planet. I'm reminded of a planet from the Darth Bane trilogy. It was a jungle planet with massive, ferocious creatures. It'd be awesome if they ended up on a planet like that. But exactly how would they get off that planet? They'd need to repair some communication equipment, of course. But just imagine if Thrawn wasn't able to repair some of that equipment so that the signal was strong enough. So the two of them would need to go out into the jungle and find a more elevated position to broadcast their distress signal. Thrawn, being the intellectual he is, would no doubt be able to fashion together weapons to help them defend themselves and salvage some decent weaponry from the Star Destroyer. Ezra would no doubt be able to befriend some of the animals on the planet, just like we've seen throughout the seasons of Rebels. But there would be creatures like the spiders on Atollon that he could not connect with, and those creatures would be out to destroy these new intruders, Thrawn and Ezra. And through this struggle, we could see Thrawn and Ezra bonding and developing a trust in one another. It would be like the cosmic force putting them together on this planet to form this bond. But what bigger plans would the cosmic force have for these two? Well, in the Thrawn novel, it suggests that there is this great evil in the unknown regions, and perhaps these two will be working together to defeat that evil. Imagine if Thrawn and Ezra are eventually rescued by Thrawn's people, the Chiss. Thrawn and Ezra are then taken back to the Chiss homeworld and are tasked with defeating that new evil. As I mentioned earlier, I believe Zahn will be writing this story. I believe this story will round out the first trilogy of books, which will include Thrawn leading up to Rebels, Thrawn Alliances, Thrawn between Season 3 and 4, and the final book in the trilogy will be the story like the one I just shared with you. And it, of course, will determine what happened to Ezra and Thrawn after Rebels. Then sometime in the distant future, we will get a new trilogy of books that detail Thrawn and Ezra taking on the great evil in the unknown regions. I must say a big thank you to Medieval Man 9, Martin B on Facebook, and many others who gave me inspiration for this theory/fan fiction. And hey, Star Wars fans, if you're new here, I'm Mike, and my goal here at Force Within TV is to encourage you to share your Star Wars thoughts and theories. So I'd love it if you'd share your thoughts and theories about the question of the day. And today's question is, what if Sabine and Ezra had fallen in love during Season 4? How do you think things would be different at the end of Season 4? How do you think things would have played out a little bit differently? Let me know in the comments below. Plus, I just wanted to thank everyone for their support over the last couple months. The channel has been growing, so welcome to all those new subscribers, and thanks to all those other subscribers that continue to comment video after video. Chatting Star Wars with all of you has been awesome, and I look forward to even more in the future, and hopefully you're enjoying your daily content. And remember, my fellow theory crafting Jedi, use the Force within you to make the Star Wars community a better place. Share your thoughts and theories and encourage those who do the same. May the Force be with you.